Right now, I'm in Massachusetts visiting family, and today I have most of my friends are old, but I was at a gym, which is pretty high end here in Massachusetts, and I was talking to a guy. We were going back and forth. He sees what I'm doing. He does very well for himself, and we were going back and forth with AI. He was asking how we're using it in our business, and I was saying it's basically life changing. He said, "Where do you see this heading?" And I said, "I think most jobs are going to be most to all information specialized jobs." Are going to be replaced or changed substantially. And I was using the example, the way that I'm going to do my taxes this year is going through every single one of my expenses that I've done in 2024 and then plugging that because I filed for an extension, so I obviously have not paid my taxes yet, nor have I done anything. So I'm going to put every single one of my transactions from 2024 into ChatGPT and QuickBooks, which are the two things that I could use, and then have it segment every single expense that I have in the proper business expense. So food would go in the food category, travel would go in X, X, Y, Z. And then I would have the entire 2024 taxes done and organized neatly with all the receipts in probably 30 minutes. Whereas an accountant, that would cost me $10,000 for the substantialness that I need for my taxes, the different bank accounts that are used, just for everything. I mean, it would be hectic as hell. I was saying same thing with doctors. What I would do right now is if I needed to go to the doctors, I would obviously have a nurse or a doctor take a test on me, like my blood work drawn or an x-ray, but then I would not ask a doctor. I don't care what, I would probably have the doctor look at it, but the way that I would really look is I would put in the ChatGPT all the results and say, what do I need? And it would give me all the medicine that I need, what's wrong with me, what I could do to fix it, based upon every other piece of medical history that I have, and it can do that for you instantly. Same thing with lawyers. Right now, for contracts that I make for clients, I don't fucking send them to a lawyer. I just make them with AI. You can literally do everything. And so those are just 3 jobs, but it's also anything that uses specialized information is not as necessary because you can get all dense information on the touch of your fingers. But what I was talking about with this guy was he was saying that he has a really good friend who works in Massachusetts public transportation. And what they have done, and it's already made, it's just not rolled out yet, is drones that can come pick people up. So you have this drone and they have like a capsule in it, and you can go into the capsule and the drone will take you to wherever you're going. So you're going to be flying through the air like it was like Meet the Robinsons. And this is not something that they're building. This is something that is already built. So we will 100% have flying public transportation in our lifetime. The question is timing. Are they going to roll this out 5 years from now, 3 years from now, 10 years from now? Doesn't matter. The fact is, this stuff is already there. It's just when will it be available to the public? Therefore, there's all this new intensive technology that makes society better, that allows us to produce more goods and services at scale to more people, which makes us a wealthier society. When we, as a society, are wealthier, that just means that we have access to more goods and services. Right now, at the touch of our fingers, we have more access to entertainment than the richest king in ancient history. They had billions of dollars of gold and silver, but we, through the touch of our freaking thumb, scrolling up and down, we have more access to better information and better entertainment than anyone ever. The same thing with food. We have access to higher dopamine food that is, I mean, a lot of it's super shit quality, but let's say better tasting, as well as traveling. The richest king in history in the past could not have hopped on a plane and flown to Asia. They would have been a multi-month voyage across oceans. And so as a society, as we get wealthier, which is we have more goods and services at our disposal, that's what progresses society forward. Therefore, with the advancements of AI that we're seeing right now and all this new technology, where does that lead US jobs? Because they're definitely going to change substantially. If we don't have a need for a lot of these jobs right now because of AI makes it incredibly cheap or almost free for you at the touch of your fingers? Are we just going to have universal basic income where the government pays everyone to live? Maybe. I mean, I definitely see that being a possibility, but where does that leave people with zero purpose? Or do they find purpose in something else? I don't know. This is something that I struggle to find. And I don't know the answer to, because this has happened before. Through the farming revolution, we started to grow agriculture and crops, which led to the majority of Americans and, let's say, society worldwide growing their own food, which had a huge increase in population size and growth in the economy and economic productivity. which then led to the, let's say, manufacturing industrial revolution. I could have these off by some years. But let's say in the 70s, we then went all to, or the 60s, we all started to become manufacturers and we started to produce a lot of things. But then it became cheaper to do that overseas, so we started to import a lot of things, and now most of the US jobs are office-based, information-based. The thing is, every single one of these technological advances take less time for the next one. So let's say the farming was a 100-year cycle, and then the manufacturing was like a 30-year cycle. The office was, let's say, 20 years, 30 years. But where do we go after this, and how quickly? Because AI and the progression of technology is having this exponential curve where it's happening incredibly quick, and we can now have this go across the entire world instantly, whereas before it took a lot longer. So the rate at which jobs are going to change is going to be quicker than any other time. But what happens every single time there's this new technology? Everyone says that this is going to replace all the jobs and then we're not going to have anything to do. But then people, innovators, always want more things. The human desire for more is infinite. Humans always are searching for more. That's probably part of the reason why we've evolved so much throughout eternalness, because we reproduce as a population and we're always getting more and more. We always want more stuff, which progresses us as a society. I just don't know what the next thing will be and where these jobs go. I guess it's not my job to figure out. I think if I had to guess, it would be some denser form of energy, because the economy runs on energy. If you think of every single thing in the entire world needs energy to get there, and that's usually in the form of oil, gas. Like even this water bottle, the way that this water bottle was made, how is that done? So you have this freshwater lake that you use refinery, which takes oil to use, or some degree of energy, coal, oil, natural gas, diesel. You're using that to take out the water, to refine it, to process it, and then to, let's say, to get the glass container, you are manufacturing that, which takes a ton of energy to manufacture the glass and then bring the water and store it. And then to transport this into your grocery store, that has to go on massive cargo ships, and then it goes on massive trucks. Every single piece of everything relies upon oil, gas, diesel to move from place to place to get to your grocery store, to get and consumed by us. And so as society progresses substantially, our use of energy always increases. We've never in history had a time when our usage of energy decreases. So my best guess, because if we, as we are going to continue to progress as a society, at least that is the goal of humanity, that means that we are going to need more energy, or more dense forms of energy, to be able to do this stuff cheaper, more cost effectively, and just producing AI and all this information. There's a reason why you have to pay for this stuff, because it takes so much energy to fire up all this computing power. So that means we're going to need a denser and more energy usage as for the future. That's just, as bottom line, that is a fact, if we want to continue to have the things that we have and have more of it. So if I had to speculate, which I'm probably wrong, but I would guess the next big innovation, it would probably be some form of energy. And I know that there's people that have hypothetically said that you can, because uranium's a very dense form of energy, of course you can use it in bombs, but they're saying, what if you could condense all of that intensive energy into a smaller group that could run for a much longer period of time that was cheaper? Obviously, that would, I don't know. I'm just spewing freaking nonsense now. These are just some thoughts that I have when I'm thinking, what does the world look like decades from now? Why is this important? Because that's where our jobs are going to go. That's where my business is going to go. That's where the livelihoods of the future is. But also, if you're looking to invest in something that had extreme upside potential, that's another avenue why it would be fun to think about this stuff. And I'm a loser and I have nothing better to do.